Handling continuous features. Up to now, our features have been nice and categorical. Outlook is sunny, overcast, or rainy, but real-world data is full of numbers. Temperature, age, income, blood pressure. What if one of your features is a number? Where do you split it? You cannot just create a branch for every possible value. Let us figure this out. Here is the problem. A categorical feature, like Outlook, has 3 values. So there are a small number of ways to split on it. But a continuous feature like temperature could be 40, 48, 60, 72, 80, 90, or literally any number in between. There are infinitely many possible split points. We clearly need a smarter approach. The solution is elegant. First, sort all the data points by the continuous feature. Then scan through the sorted list and look for candidate split points. We do not need to test every possible number. We only need to test the midpoints between consecutive values where the class label changes. This turns an infinite problem into a very manageable one. Let us see this in action. Suppose we have 6 examples with temperature values of 40, 48, 60, 72, 80, and 90. Their play tennis labels are no, no, yes, 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 and no. We sort them by temperature, which they already are, and lay them out in order. Now we look for class boundaries, places where the label changes from one class to another, going left to right. 48 is no and 60 is yes. So there is a boundary between them. Then 80 is yes and 90 is no. So there is another boundary there. These are the only spots where a split could actually separate the classes. Our candidate split points are the midpoints at those boundaries. Between 48 and 60, the midpoint is 54. Between 80 and 90, the midpoint is 85. So we only need to evaluate 2 candidate splits. Temperature less than or equal to 54 and temperature less than or equal to 85. That is way better than testing every number. Before we evaluate the splits, we need the parent entropy. We have 3 yes and 3 no out of 6 examples. That is a 50-50 split. The entropy is 1.000, maximum uncertainty, a perfect starting point to measure improvement. Let us try the first candidate, temperature less than or equal to 54. The left group has values 40 and 48. Both are no. That is a pure group. Entropy is 0. The right group has 60, 72, 80, and 90. 3 yes and 1 no. The entropy works out to 0.811. Now the weighted average, 26 times 0 plus 46 times 0.811. That gives us 0.541. Information gain is 1.000 minus 0.541. That is 0.459. Now the second candidate, temperature less than or equal to 85. The left group has 40, 48, 60, 72, and 80. That is 3 yes and 2 no. Entropy is 0.971. Still quite mixed. The right group has just 90. Only one numbered, pure. Entropy is 0. The weighted average, 5, 6 times 0.971 plus 1, 6 times 0. That gives 0.809. Information gain is 1.000 minus 0.809. That is only 0.191. Now we compare. The split at 54 gives information gain of 0.459. The split at 85 gives only 0.191. The split at 54 wins by a large margin. It separates 2 pure no values on the left and creates a much cleaner right group. This becomes our split. Temperature less than or equal to 54 on one side, greater than 54 on the other. And here's what the resulting split looks like as a tree. Temperature less than or equal to 54 at the root. On the left, we have 2 no examples. On the right, 3 yes and 1 no McLean binary split from a continuous feature, just like any categorical split, but with a threshold instead of categories. So here is the recipe for continuous features. Sort the values, identify where class labels change, compute midpoints at those boundaries, calculate information gain for each midpoint, just like any other split. The best midpoint becomes a binary split. Feature less than or equal to the threshold on one side, greater than on the other, simple, efficient, and it plugs right into the tree building algorithm we already know. Next up, we will look at the nature of splits decision trees make. Spoiler, they're always axis parallel.